Hey everybody, welcome in, welcome in. Today is July the 5th, and it is the day after the 4th, y'all. So, for those of y'all who celebrated yesterday, I hope y'all had a good time. However, I did go to work yesterday. So, I work at a music venue, and it was nuts yesterday. And then by the time when I came home, y'all, all the pop, 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 I went straight to sleep. And I have never in my life laid down on the 4th of July and just went straight to sleep. Like, I've never done it. So that's how I know I was tired as hell. Second of all, I live in Wisconsin, okay? Today it was 91 degrees and folks was passing out. The EMTs was on call. Okay. I even was like, I felt a little this for like one smidge of a second. I said, yeah, I think it's time for me to go home. And I was about ready to go home. So I had about, when that happened, I had about an hour left. So I'm like, oh shit. Right? Okay, so I don't know how y'all doing with this heat we got going right now, but oh my god. Y'all let me know where y'all at, where y'all watching this from. And then tell me like what the degrees has been for y'all. But yeah, it's been straight up 80s for us, but today it was 91 degrees. And I'm like, I can't take this. Like, I have to go home. And y'all, I'm central alert. Okay, central alert. And this fan is blowing right in front of me. Okay, so happy 4th to y'all. Let me know if you popped them works or however y'all was doing. I don't know how to pop them works, so I just be in the house. And it be plenty shows. It like I got fireworks coming from all directions. So yeah, I don't gotta go nowhere to see the works pop. Okay, I don't got to go nowhere. Okay, they're probably gonna be popping them O's tonight. Them O's, y'all know what I really say. Okay, and y'all see I'm real tan, dude. Okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna be about August time. I'm probably gonna be another shade darker. Another. I don't think I'm gonna get too tan. It ain't like I'm in I'm not willing to say the location, but it's not like how you say that, out the country? Yeah, out the country, overseas, out the country. Okay. So anyway, I hope y'all had a fun 4th of July and y'all got to cooking some good stuff. I ain't cooked nothing. I ain't went to nobody's house, but I did have me like this brisket sandwich on the 4th. I think it was brisket. It was like a brisket Swiss cheese with the mushroom girl type sandwich with some good bomb ass fries. Ooh, girl, I'm saying brisket on the bad boy. All right, so anywho, y'all. So throughout the week, I've been noticing different things with working with the general public, like the general public, because it's a music venue. Um, with that being said, you just start observing a lot that I've never really noticed as much before. Okay. So, with that being said, if y'all never been to my channel, I am a digital design coach for YouTube and e-commerce platforms. And all this July, I will be helping you guys plan out your YouTube channels and plan out your e-commerce with the YouTube design critiques and also the e-commerce builder workshop. Okay. And the entry point to get in is, of course, the Align to the Science Audience Solution template. That's where you're going to find out who your audience is going to be. Like who is your videos, your products, or your services is going to be geared towards. And that template helps you lay it out easier. I give you what you need to think about, but you have to input the information, right? Okay, boom. So that is a free tool for you to get started with coaching with me, and it is in my official playlist, the Align by Design Find Your Voice, Show Up and Get Paid series, which we should be finishing. We should be wrapping this up in less than 2 weeks. How about that? We should be wrapping it up, if 2 weeks maybe, but less than 2 weeks, right? Maybe 2 weeks. Okay. I shouldn't say less than 2 weeks, but 2 more weeks, and then I'm ready to start coaching y'all officially. So like behind the scenes, not on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I made a Line by Design playlist for you guys to understand what it is to find your audience, understand what it is to identify what you're naturally gifted at, and start making money your way, but showing up consistently with a plan, which is why I have the Find Your Why guidebook that I talk about consistently within my videos. But all of that is talked about within the playlist. And then, of course, I talk about making your first offer and, things that you have to think about as you are creating your e-commerce, aka your very own website. So there is that. Okay. So if anybody is new, I do help with YouTube channel branding and website branding, just overall branding. That's what I like to talk about. I like to talk about branding, identity, confidence, showing up for yourself and getting paid your way and not just a traditional 9 to 5. So that's what I mainly like talk about on here. And then also from time to time, I do videos about like celebrities, not really on like celebrity gossip per se, but more like celebrities who show you presence, essence, confidence, stage presence, magnetism, things of that nature that makes them alluring and makes them attractive, because that is the whole purpose of when you're selling to people or when you're marketing to people. You are attracting in the people who need your product, service, YouTube channel, right? And so you have to know how to allure those people onto your platform that you're going to create, and of course that you're going to brand of your own merit. Okay. So with that being said, here's the main topic for today. So while I was driving the other day, I had my own personal thoughts, and then also I do scroll on TikTok, y'all, in my free time, and a couple of videos were popping up. Okay, and one of the topics that came up while I was scrolling on TikTok, I meshed these all together, y'all. So this is like a chit chat type of format of like social issues and like identity crises that I see today with everyday people. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about identity crisis. Now, I want to preface this before we get started. I don't have a problem with people being whatever sexual orientation you are. I don't care. Okay, that's number one. So before somebody get offended because they see something in the corner that got to do with the rainbow or the gender thing, I do not care. I literally don't care, because I already shared a story where I had to switch my last year of high school. I'm 30. Okay. I had to switch my last year of high school, and I ended up going to a quote alternative school, which was quote known as the gay school. And they asked me, they were like, this school is predominantly, there's a lot of like gay, trans people here. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. So so let's start right there. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'm totally fine if it's a gay male right here, if it's a stud. I don't care. I don't care if you I don't care. I literally do not care. I've been around it. It does not bother me. All right, so let's get into it. So people feel like this life is empty. So all throughout I would say the last 2 weeks, there's been different topics that I've been seeing on TikTok that I want to just thoroughly talk about more here on my platform since we talk about identity. Okay, so people feel like life is moving too fast. The jobs aren't jobbing. People aren't peopling. It's a lot of isolation, and people claim that it's a lot of narcissism. That's what they're claiming, is that people are narcissistic. Well, let me start off with the narcissistic part. I don't think, now I know in biblical terms it says that people are going to become lovers of themselves. Yet, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I feel like, I'm not saying narcissism is a good thing, but I'm saying everybody has a level of selfishness that they need to be well equipped in, period. You know what I'm saying? You have that's what having a standard is too. Believe it or not. Because narcissists have a standard of this person must follow this in order to be my supply. Okay? And let's talk about guys in general. To certain guys, a woman has to be of a certain behavior in order for him to feel like he can control her easily. That's a standard, right? So my question, this could be further on, but my question is, how come when women have a standard, y'all turn around and be like, who hurt you? Why somebody gotta hurt? Why somebody gotta be hurt in order to have a standard? That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so anyway, so life is moving faster. Honestly, do I feel like life? I do feel like life is moving faster. I do. And I wish it could slow down a tad. Just a tad. Like these days be going by real quick. And then next thing you know, we in the next month. But yes, honestly, I feel like people are experiencing an identity crisis because, one, the jobs aren't jobbing like they used to. A lot of people have been talking about these rejection letters, and they've been applying to so many different things. And some people really base their identity on their jobs. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never been that person to base my identity on a job, to base my identity on a job title. And why has that been? Why I never did that? Maybe because I take jobs and they are a job to me, but it doesn't feel, I don't feel that connected to jobs. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I like, some people feel like, oh, this is my job, this is my role, I'm gonna take it serious. And that, those people who be at the workplace and they take every little smidge of a thing so serious, it's because they don't have an identity anywhere else. And so they're at the workplace. And for me, it's just kind of like okay, yeah, I work here, I'm gonna take my job the way that it's supposed to, roll out, but I'm not connected to the job that I take. Like, I'm like, it's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to that, but let's compare it to that, since we're gonna slowly start getting into the relationship dynamics, right? So it's kind of comparable to, let's say you have a friend. Let's just do friends. Let's not do relationship. Let's say you have a friend and you don't mind spending time with them, like doing activities with them, but you just don't feel that connected to that friend. That's how I look at jobs as a whole. Me personally, like, some people be like, "Oh, my job is everything to me, and if something BS happen at a job, then I'm just gonna go ham." That's why some people flip out, and if they get fired, they want to wreak havoc all over the place because they felt like that job gave them status. And to me, I just don't think that way. I don't think that way. Okay, so I think, I don't want to sound like I'm super, like, I don't know. I just think about things that I feel like when you get older, you just start seeing life differently, and you don't take things, you don't make external things as important, because those external things could be taken away at any point. You know what I'm saying? Like, your job could be taken away from you at any point. You could lose your job at any point. So it's kind of like, yeah, the job, if it's a decent job, yeah, I'm going to take the job. I'm going to do it. But do I feel super connected to the job? No. No. Okay. So people are feeling like life is empty. It's probably because of the identity crisis, not even just in the job, but also just them as a person. So let's talk about how I had ran into this video. I was going into work. I ran into this video on YouTube, and it was this guy, and he was talking about the loss of morals, right? And the loss of personal standards, right? And everyone keeps talking about how kids of today are not learning, they don't have manners and morals, and they're not being raised right anymore. And kids are, what they call it? Something havoc, wrecking havoc or something. I don't know. I don't know what the term is, but they were saying how the world, or America, used to be heavily Christian based, and now it's not so Christian based. And honestly, I kind of want to talk on that, because it's not necessary. It's not. It's not necessarily about Christianity, though. That's the thing. It's just the reason why the world feels more empty. Yes, you could say it's because people do not practice Christianity like they used to, or have a real belief system, or have accountability. Like today, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she was saying that on the news, this boy had turned 6 years old, and his parents got him a cell phone, a 6-year-old. And she was like, ain't no way I would have had a cell phone at 6 years old. But she was like, they didn't have cell phones when she was 6 years old. Anyway, I don't know how old she is. I really don't know. Maybe 60 or something. I don't know. I can't really tell her age, to be honest. Now, she's one of those people I really can't tell her age. You know, a lot of people can't tell my age either, but I really couldn't tell her age. But because she was telling me she had a son that was like older. I was like, older? And she was like, yeah, he like 40 something. What? Oh. I'm thinking he like, well, I'm 10 years younger than 40, but um anyway, but yeah, and I told her, I was like, yeah, because I had got my first cell phone when I was 13. And then she was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, and then I was like, yeah, I was like, a 6-year-old probably gonna lose that cell phone. Like, I don't understand. That don't make sense either to me. Why would your 6-year-old have a cell phone? Like, it's like people's priorities are like, I don't know. Anyway, let me see. People don't have any, I think it's called like an internal compass. I think people are losing or never built their internal compass. I feel like I should do a video about that because maybe people don't know what an internal compass is, but I feel like that's what's lacking. People say that morals are lacking. Yes, the be kind and say please and thank you and just like the basic stuff. But I feel like people of today do not have an internal compass. It's kind of like having morals, yes, but it's like you having a standard about yourself, right? And just like in my other video, I was talking about, are men intimidated by feminine women? Because feminine women have a standard about themselves. They're not going to go outside and have they butt hanging out they pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain women are not going to do certain stuff. And it's not to be like, oh, they're better than, because having a standard is subjective, right? Having a standard is subjective. Now, to this person, they might think your standard is out this world, is stupid because they know they can't meet it. But then somebody else, you say you have a standard, they're like, oh, okay, that's nice. That I'm glad you told me that, right? Some people are willing to hear your standard so they know how to approach you. And then, like how to come at you, how to communicate with you, how to talk to you so that you have a pleasant exchange. And then you have other people where you tell them your standard and they want to mock you. They don't like it at first, but they might adjust to it. Or you got them folk that like, oh, they just like ridicule you because you have a standard. And with that, oh, who hurt you? That sounds so dumb. Like, y'all be saying that to Shira. Like, what she got to be hurt for? So you telling me in order for somebody to give you wisdom, or in order for somebody to uphold themselves with a standard, they got to be hurt in order to have it? That don't make sense. That don't make sense to me. Okay. And also, why life feels empty, right? Why people are having identity crisis. Remember how I said the internal compass? Y'all also don't have conviction. Some people they're missing an internal compass, and they're missing conviction, and they're missing accountability. Everyone keeps talking about how folks don't have accountability. Accountability also comes with having conviction. And conviction is where you just have this, I would say conviction is like passion and a standard together, right? And it becomes powerful. So when you speak with conviction and you believe in that philosophy, you believe in that passion that you're speaking for, it'll come across because it's so filled with conviction. People will be like, well, dang, you mad, ain't you? And like, I had somebody come on here, whoever it was, right? They came in the chat and was like, oh, why are you yelling? First of all, I barely yell. Second of all, if it seems like my voice is getting higher, y'all ever hear me talk like this? That means I'm getting to a point that I'm trying to get across. You feel what I'm saying? That's not yelling. Y'all don't even want to hear me yell because it sounds terrible. Okay? Y'all don't want to hear me yell because it sounds terrible. I don't like yelling. And that yelling does nothing for me. Someone who actually sings, yelling does nothing for me. So I'm not yelling. Sorry. Sorry that you couldn't get all that energy because you're not going to get all that energy from me. When somebody yells, they're muting out a lot of energy. And a lot of people are just looking for you to yell at them because it gives them energy. I'm not doing that. Okay? And then a lot of people look for freedom, but their freedom turns into chaos and then they get themselves in trouble. So like today I was on TikTok and it was this police officer and he was like, we are getting so sick and tired. He was like, you guys have to start watching your kids like you're supposed to. And he's like, us as police officers, we are not your gatekeepers. And he was talking about some little boy passed. He said, I don't know. That police officer said, I don't know how old this little boy is, but I know he's young and he passed away because kids are going outside doing God knows what. And then this the thing about young kids. They be acting like grown folks don't got their own protect. Like, there was some store. Was it here? I wonder if it was here. I think it was here. Oh my gosh. I think it was here. Or I don't know if it was here. But they were saying how like this one young boy had went to this old lady house unannounced. And she saw him on the camera and he got into her home. Her door was probably unlocked or something. And she said she got her gun and she shot him and then he gone. And then one of his relatives came on there and she was like, well, yeah, because how else was he gonna get what we need or something? She said. No, I don't think it was here. It was a dude from YouTube that showed us that video, and then you know how people like to take other people's videos and show them. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. And I was like, what? Yes. Like they be acting like folk don't got their own protect. Like, all right, what they say, do dumb at your own risk. Okay. It says also, okay, now let's talk about this. Now there's the morals, there's the people don't have an internal compass and stuff like that. All right, so then losing yourself in the system. This is why you have an identity crisis. You're losing yourself in the system. Remember how I was just talking about how some people attach their identities to their job? Okay, well, if you attach your identity based on how much money you getting at a job and then you lose that job, or you know how people say they losing their soul in their job or something? Yeah, you're too attached to that job. That's why you're losing yourself in the job. Because I'm telling you, I've had a job in the past where I'm just like, yeah. It's not that I told myself I wasn't gonna be there for long. I didn't even tell myself that. I just started peeping stuff, and I'm like, and then life just played out, and I left that job, like literally, like. Me personally, I don't have issues with leaving a job. And it's been, I'm going to say why I don't have those issues is because, like I said, I just don't attach myself to the identity of a job when a job alone is just an entity. when therefore you can make yourself an entity. And that's why I'm a digital design coach for YouTube and e-commerce platforms. And, you know, when they say God gonna make a way, he'll make a way. He will make a way. Yet, you might be pinching pennies for a good little while. Even if you do leave that job, right? You might be pinching pennies, but that's why you always have you a savings account, right? Always have you a savings account. That's why they say you every time you get paid, you should be paying yourself. It don't matter how much you pay yourself. Pay yourself $50 every month. Stop. Okay, keep you a savings account. Don't be attaching your life to no job. When you and then on top of that, you can give yourself a job if you want a job so bad. And then start working your own schedule. Have your 9 to 5, do your side hustle, however, boom, boom, boom. And I'm one of those people that's like, nah, I want to focus on my ish first, and the 9 to 5 comes secondary. I flip flopped. Right? Because time will tell. Time will let you know. Like, okay, you focus on your 9 to 5 for a good little while. Okay, if you're done with that, okay, boom, I'm done with it. Let me get to this savings account for a little bit, and then let me work on what I really want to work on. Okay, then I put the side hustle in front so that it can get some, what you call it, some I don't know what word I want to use. Some incline, sure, some incline. And then once it get where I think it should be, then we can go back to that 9 to 5 and make it the 9 to 5 what it is. And then when you ready, oh yeah. Do your own, you are your own entity, period. And that's why you gotta have that. That's why you gotta have that self-identity. That's why you gotta have that standard. That's why you have to have that internal compass. Because when you have an internal compass and you know who you are and you have a standard, that's what thus makes people entrepreneurs, right? You have to have that internal compass. You have to have morals. You have to have standards. You have to know what your mission is. You gotta know how you're going to be the solution to those who have pain points, right? That's the whole point of entrepreneurship. And then another thing, y'all be losing yourself in y'all friends. Y'all will lose yourself in your friends. And those people that you surround yourself by, 8 times out of 10, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, they, just like I said in the last live video, y'all gotta start watching my lives. Okay? Because when I do these type of talks, these be live. These don't be like my regular videos. My regular videos be mostly about branding. My lives would be like about social talk and issues like this. Okay? Y'all be so wrapped up in your friends, but like I said in that last live, a lot of times people are just, quote, your friend because they're lacking something. They're not really your friend. They're just lacking something. Right? And then it's almost like when you get around a whole bunch of people and then they get to being familiar with your energy, then they start talking to you crazy. Why do you think folks be talking to folk crazy? Huh? When you ain't did nothing to them and they start talking to you crazy. Because with certain people and certain people's energy, they feel more lack when you are around. That's it. They feel more lack when you are around. Like with their regular friends, they already feel lack. But because they see the lack reflected back to them, they feel comfortable. But when certain energies that don't display lack, they don't like you because you don't reflect their lack. That's it. And folk be talking about this the thing I don't like about folks on TikTok. They be like, oh, your family don't like you, your friends don't like you, and trying to make you feel away. I just literally explained it to y'all. Very simple, very plain. It's because you make them feel like they lacking way more when you come around. That's it. Versus they friends. It's not even that deep. It's really not that deep. And usually when I be explaining stuff, people like to say, oh, it's not that deep. That what I just told y'all ain't that deep. That's all it is. People have friends because they just don't want to feel like the only one in their lack. And they call that a friend. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so also, when your friends don't hold you accountable, when your friends ain't, trying to build anything of y'all like getting money, or let's say y'all are getting money, and then you really good at selling to people or getting things done, and I'm like, dang, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to be charismatic as that person. I don't know how to get people to say yes to me. I'm not sure of myself and my own abilities. And then they'll look out to you and they'll see that you are the leadership role. And then they'll start getting mad at you because you possess qualities of a leader. That don't got nothing to do with me. It don't. Like, that has nothing to do with you. When you start making your brand for YouTube and e-commerce platform, that don't got nothing to do with you. That has, when people get mad because you actually have things to say, things to voice, you got to show up for yourself and others. Yeah, that's right. Because people only want to use you for their own benefits. But when you are this is the thing. People like when you are a leader, when you're mothering. If you're a woman, that's the only time when they let you lead, is if you have mothering energy. That's the only time. That's what I also noticed today. I was like, y'all gonna be offended by this if you're a man watching this, but look. I said, why do they call men the leaders? So I work at a music venue, right? I said, I've been watching nothing but men just follow these women all day. Ask them 1,001 questions. I even had this one man come and ask me a question. And then, oh my God, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so this guy come up to me and he says, hey, where is the main interest? So if there are a sector of entrances that you can come in, what may be the main interest for you versus to me may be two different things. So I asked him, okay, did you see a certain landmark? And I said what the landmark was. I was like, did you see this when you walked in? And he was like, well, I don't know. So then I said this way at first, and I was like, da, da, da. And he was like, no, I was about this. I was like over here. And then I was like, okay, then go over here then. Then he was like, so go over here? Y'all, do you know he asked me that 2 times? So go over here? And I was like, well, sir, you just said you were over here. No, I didn't. I said, sir, I literally said, this is literally the gesture I did. I said, sir, I can't help you no further. I don't know which interest to help you in. I don't know. If you weren't paying attention to your own surroundings, how can I help you, sir? How can I? It don't matter what interest I say if you don't even know. Because certain interests have certain landmarks. And if you're not even paying attention to the landmarks of where you came in, how am I supposed to help you? Like, really? Okay. So that's when I started noticing. And then I see more and more women with their partners, and the woman is leading them the whole entire time. I'm like, how? I'm like, where are these people getting that men are leaders? I'm not seeing it. If they're not wanting to pay your bills, if they're not wanting to take you on dates, if they're not willing to come up to you and approach you, where are they leading at? They're leading you astray, right? Okay, that's about it. They're leading you astray. I don't see real leadership. I don't see it. All right, so with that being said, the other topic that we got to talk about. I saw a video. I saw 2 videos yesterday. And this is talking about the masculine and the feminine. I just like talking about this for whatever reason, because it's been like the topic, I guess. So, one, it was a black man, and he was coming out of a mall. And he was like, y'all, I just came up out the mall. This was on TikTok. He was like, y'all, I just came up out the mall, and then I just saw a whole plethora of dudes with nail polish on, toe polish on. And he's like, I seen so many feminine guys, it's appalling. And then I'm looking in the comment section, and this Caucasian man says, yeah, this generation, he said, I've been noticing this way earlier. This generation, some about this generation, I don't know what it is. This generation is confused, or I don't know. I don't have a see. This is the thing. If you're supposed to be a straight male, why are y'all? This is what I said. I don't have a problem with people being gay. If you have mannerisms that display that you could be gay, do not think that a straight woman is supposed to holler at you. Don't. For what? It's for some reason in dudes' heads these days, they think they the cute one. You're not cute to me. Yeah, you might have an appealing face, but like, that's not gonna make me step to you. That's not gonna make me talk to you. That's what y'all do, because y'all are lust driven. Okay? So when y'all see a nice face, a nice butt, a nice body, that's when you like, and your bottom area be talking, and then you want to step to her or whenever. Or a lot of y'all don't even step to women no more, because y'all so study doing this all day, looking at females. And then when you get into real life, this is what y'all do. That's all y'all do. All y'all do is stare. So I'm not finna be the one to shoot no shot, because remember, y'all supposed to be leaders, right? Okay, y'all not gonna be no leader if all y'all doing is staring at women, and you think she supposed to approach you. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. Build some real rapport. Don't build no fake rapport with, how you doing today, ma'am? That's fake rapport. You don't really care how she doing. Stop. And that's the other thing. I hate when people be like, how you doing? You don't really care how I'm doing, right? You don't really care how I'm doing. So get to the gist of why you're talking to me. Like, I'm one of those type of people. Please don't waste my time. Get to the gist of why you're talking to me. Why are you talking to me? Get to the gist. Like, I'm not a small talk person. I'm not. I like to talk about real life ish. I like to have real conversations. I ain't with the small talk. Oh, I don't mind talk. The only small talk that I don't mind is like not like cheesy. What's the weather or da da da, but like if it's got something to do with we about to do, then I don't mind that type of small talk. Y'all, I'm so mission and purpose driven that like if it's not mission or purpose driven, I don't like talking about it. That's just what type of person I am. I don't like talking about nonsense. If you gonna talk about nonsense or something I really don't care about, hush your mouth. Like really. But anyway, so the other thing I want to talk about before I get up off of here is there was this Caucasian man, and he was saying that women are not being are not actually practicing feminism. He said women are becoming colder, emotionless, and narcissistic. Okay. And he said it's not that y'all are practicing feminism. It actually seems like y'all are becoming masculine. Now, this is the thing. I can hear what he's saying, but I cannot hear when black men say black women are masculine. I cannot hear that. Now, when the Caucasian man said from feminism to masculinity, how women are becoming colder and emotionless and not as nurturing as they used to be, I can hear that. I feel like that is a valid point. When black men say black women are becoming masculine, that don't make sense to me. You want to know why? Because if, as a black man, you have left the home and you've left her with babies and she had to take care of her babies and she stepped up to the plate in order to take care of those babies, and now she puts her foot down with men. She puts her foot down with her home, her assets, anything that she has built without that guy who stepped out on her, who walked out on them kids. And then you turn around and say she masculine. No, she's a leader. That's what she is. And you're upset because she, I don't know, did what she needed to do. And now she don't put up with that mess. And so in turn, you talking about she masculine. I can't hear that. I can't hear that. So with that being said, y'all, so let me know what y'all think about today's topics, things that I touched on. Do you feel like people are losing morals, that they don't have no inner compass anymore? Nobody taught them about having an inner compass. Do you feel like people are losing their identities because there's going to be little to no jobs left? I mean, honestly. And yeah, just sound off in the chat, and y'all can definitely let me know what topic are y'all looking for me to discuss next time. Make sure y'all put that in the comments. All right, and remember that if you're building your YouTube or trying to figure out your message, make sure you guys are watching the Align by Design series. Find your voice, show up, and get paid. I'll put it in the description box for y'all. It's definitely in the description box in the last live video. Go watch the last live because my live videos be super good. All right. So if y'all ready to work with me and need clarity on what to post, how to build your e-commerce, what goes on your e-commerce, what goes on your website, make sure y'all are watching that series and you're working with me as your digital design coach. I see y'all about next one. It's your girl, So Treat Accessory.